Hey there, this is Dr. Mort Orman, and today we're going to finish up our 5-part series this week on cognitive biases. And I want to do that today by focusing on a very, very important cognitive bias, and it's called the focus effect. And it really is a bias in a sense, although it's different from some of the other ones we've talked about this week. And what the focus effect is all about is that when we focus on something or some aspect of a larger situation, we may see what we're focusing on and we may accurately see what we're focusing on, but the fact that we're focusing on one aspect means that we're ignoring many other aspects that are actually real and that actually are part of the situation or the problem or whatever we're dealing with, the issue we're dealing with. And we become blind to those other aspects because our focus is directed in one sort of narrow area. And that can be very beneficial to focus. For example, you can set goals for yourself and then restrict your focus so that you're focused on those goals and the steps required to achieve them. Okay, so focus is a very, very powerful ability that we have. But also it can lead to problems and stress because it can distort our view of a complex situation and all the multiple pieces that are involved in that situation. So we have lots of examples of how focus can distort our view of reality. So, for example, in the current political debate following the Orlando terrorist attack over the weekend, you can see how people are encouraging us to focus on one aspect of the situation and completely ignore other aspects. So if you want to focus on guns, you can focus on guns and say, okay, that's the real problem. And then you can say, okay, great, but what about the terrorists and the activities of terrorists and the beliefs of the terrorists and behavior of the terrorists? Well, you can focus on that and say it's not guns. So you can do these tricks with focus, and people will tend to manipulate us by getting us to focus on various things. So one of the things politicians are quite famous for is whenever they screw something up or wherever they're responsible for something, in order to not have to face that, they will get you to focus or try to get you to focus on other things, anything but themselves. So they will point out many parts of a complex situation. They will place blame anywhere but on themselves, and that's just a matter of directing your focus. It's a technique that they use to get themselves out of having to have the spotlight shown on them, and I'm sure you've seen that many, many times. But the important thing is that focus, it has very powerful effects. It can be beneficial, but it can also distort reality. And the interesting thing about focus is oftentimes it happens automatically for us, or outside forces like the media and other people tend to get us or try to get us to focus on, and very narrowly on, certain things that they want us to focus on and ignore everything else. So that can produce a lot of stress in our lives in almost every area of our life. I mean, if you want to focus on all the bad things that happened in your past, you can do that. It'll probably make you feel sad or depressed. If you want to focus on all the missed opportunities that came by in your life that you didn't take advantage of, you can do that. Or you can focus on the future or where you want to go or other kinds of things like that. So while focus can produce a tremendous amount of stress, we as human beings have these two wonderful magical powers that all of us have that we often don't take full advantage of. And these two powers are focus, the ability to direct our focus, and choice, the ability to make choices in life, and in particular, the ability to choose what we want to focus on, or to choose to do something other than what our automatic focus is or what other people are telling us to focus on. So we can override our automatic tendencies, or we can consciously choose and direct our focus on the things that matter for us or that would be helpful to us. And we have the ability to choose to do that, and we have the ability to redirect our focus. And that's why I call these the two big magical powers we have, that both, when they happen automatically, can cause us to have stress, but when we bring our conscious intention to the party and we decide where we want to focus our attention or where we want to make choices that will benefit us, these magical powers can dissolve a lot of the stressful problems that we have. And it really boils down to, do you exercise those magical powers, and do you know how to direct them? Do you know what to focus on? Do you know what choices to make? And here's where it gets a little tricky, But the important point is that we have the power to do that if we can just figure out what the best places are, the best ways to redirect our focus and make better choices are. And often that's what good coaching helps you do. You get other people in your life that can help point out things you can focus on you may not be focusing on now, possibilities you may not have considered that you can focus on, goals you can create that you haven't created, and then give you support and accountability in achieving those goals and reaching those goals and keeping your focus honed on those specific steps and choosing not to get distracted or thrown off course from what you've just put your focus on, and knowing in fact what it is to choose. What should you be choosing, what you should you be rejecting that's coming your way. These are all things that other people can who have experience in those particular areas of life that you're trying to succeed at can help you redirect your focus and make better choices. But the key point here is the focus effect is a very real type of cognitive bias. It can distort your view of reality when it happens automatically, or where you allow other people to control your focus and what you choose to look at and think about. And at the same time, you always have the ability to override those forces, step in with your own magical powers and make your problems and stress disappear in ways that a lot of people think aren't really possible, because they don't realize that we have those magical powers and we can exercise them. And when we're smart about it and we're knowledgeable about it, we can produce great, positive, beneficial results that support our well-being, support us having the kind of lifestyles that we like to have. So that's a wrap for this week, and we may return to this subject of cognitive biases in another series down the road, because there are many more that I haven't talked about. But I appreciate you listening to this week's materials, and I will talk to you again next week.